The top 5 reasons why Jim Harbaugh should make himself more available to fans and media. Next on Michigan Podcast.
But there's going to be one team that's going to play solely as a team. No man is more important than the team. No coach is more important than the team. The team, the team, the team.
Looks deep for Anthony Clark. Waits for it. Hit. Caught.
This is no time for that. In the pocket and a sack. Tim Jamison.
Brady gets terrific. Throws it and a touchdown. Knight again. Schultz just before Brazil got him. And a leaping interception by Woodson.
Harbaugh back to throw over the middle. Caught by Collier at the 5 on his feet. Touchdown, Michigan. On its way. It's good.
He's 5'7", 179 pounds, a junior at Michigan. But Jamie Morris packs a wallop, and he delivers for Bo Schembechler.
And here's your first play. Pressure coming. Sack. It is Glenn Steele, number 81, who fought his way through the traffic.
Option. And Robinson calls his own number, and he's going to score. Oh, an easy touchdown for Robinson and Michigan.
Win it. We're going to win the championship again because we're going to play as a team. And when we play as a team and the old season is over, you and I know it's going to be Michigan again. Michigan.
Go Blue, I'm Steve Deace. Welcome to this week's episode of Michigan Podcast. Like you, we long for a return to normalcy. We think it is getting closer. Hopefully, though, in the meantime, all of you are staying safe and enjoying what we're doing here at Michigan Podcast, which is a series called The Top 5 Reasons Why. And this week, we're going to look at the top 5 reasons why Jim Harbaugh should make himself more available to the fans, to the media. He's doing himself a disservice by shutting himself off these last few years. Let's begin with number 5. This one's pretty obvious. He's the face of the program. I mean, the players, they come and they go. Hobbs, they come and they go, right? Particularly in this era where guys don't want to be here more than 3 years, let alone 4. The constant, the one constant through all the years, Ray, is the head coach. Okay, we need that guy out front selling the program. Okay? Especially if you're not winning championships. Now, they don't suck either. Michigan's kind of in this unique realm we haven't seen too often in college football, especially here in the playoff era, where they're too good to make substantive changes, but not as good as everybody expects or wants or hopes them to be at the exact same time. Well, when you can't just sell yourself on the merits, meaning, hey, look at my championship rings, you know, like that, what is the insurance company commercial that Nick Saban is doing where he holds up all those championship rings on his finger, right? We can't do that right now. So we need the guy who's the face of the program out there selling it, okay, both to fans and to the media, but then also that helps with recruiting. So that's the main reason, or the easiest reason why Jim Harbaugh needs to make himself more available. Brings us to number 4 on this list. You know, for all the criticism, his zany hijinks, they work. All right. I mean, this is something that I heard on the Wolverines Wire podcast recently with Isaiah Hole. He made this point. I want to echo it. You know, when you talked about sleeping in tree or climbing trees, sleeping over at kids' houses, going go-kart racing, he signed all those guys. And those guys were good players. The zany hijinks work. Taking your shirt off at the satellite camps and getting on Sports Center when there's nothing else going on, those things work, okay? Zany hijinks, Jim Harbaugh is the best Jim Harbaugh. I'd like to see a return to the zany hijinks. because they worked. Number 3 on our top 5 reasons why Jim Harbaugh should make himself more available. Let's face it, the so-called submarine he likes to go into, putting yourself in a media bubble, the muttering cliches at his press conferences, his radio interviews, it hasn't worked. Might as well just try something else. All right, I mean, trying the Bill Belichick routine hasn't worked. All right, so maybe try something else. Why keep doing what hasn't worked? That doesn't make any sense. All right, so it'd be, hey, if we were on if we had this thing locked down right now, I almost said on lockdown. Right now, almost all of us are on lockdown and probably sick of it. Okay, if we had this thing locked down, I can't get locked out of my head. If we had this thing called Big Ten Championship football locked down right now, and you want to go up, you want to rip your hoodie in half like Belichick does and talk about, hey, you don't even know who Andrew Luck is when he retires, all that crazy stuff that we all know is not true. Nobody cares. Okay, but you're not doing those things right now. So you're not serving your program well with the cliches and the mutterances and the putting yourself in a bubble and putting yourself in a submarine. It's okay for people to like Jim Harbaugh, especially because of reason number 2. Jim Harbaugh is far more thoughtful, I think, than most people realize. He gave an interview to National Review about a couple of weeks ago on the current pandemic. Had several thoughtful things to say. When he does open up on his old podcast and things of that nature, there's a lot more going on there than see football, hear football, do football. I mean, that's not a Pinocchio, folks. That's a real boy. And I think it's okay for the public to see more of that. It wouldn't hurt anything. I mean, you're not going to beat Ohio State less because we're showing people what Jim Harbaugh is really like, especially because there's a lot to like when he does. And that brings us to the number 1 reason why Jim Harbaugh should make himself more available. It would help him with a fan base that is rightly growing impatient, but at the same time, overwhelmingly still wants him to be successful. The majority of Michigan fans are very frustrated, and rightly so. But a majority of Michigan fans would also love to see one of their favorite sons be successful here. And so even amongst Michigan fans, there's this no man's land right now, just like there is with the program, where we're frustrated with the direction of the program, but we also really like this coach. He's one of our greatest players ever. He's arguably the greatest living Michigan football player, not named Charles Woodson. We forget he finished 3rd in the Heisman Trophy balloting, 2nd team All-American, the first Michigan drafted quarterback to ever throw a touchdown pass in the NFL. All right. There's still a lot of high regard for his accomplishments in the winged helmet. People want him to be successful here. They're just growing impatient and losing faith that he will. One way to boost that confidence and restore that faith is to engage with people. All right, we're not just customers here. This isn't just the NFL. These are fans, these are alumni, these are boosters. These were people that were here long before you got here, and they'll be here long after you're gone, Jimmy. It's okay. You were a fan favorite when you were a player. It's okay to be a fan favorite now that you're the coach. Well, let us know what you think about what we think here on these top 5 reasons why we think Jim Harbaugh should make himself more available. You can do so by following us on Twitter at Michigan Podcast. Don't forget to check out our website, WolverineDigest.com, each and every day. We're keeping you updated on the latest news. You don't want to miss that, WolverineDigest.com. And then finally, remember to like, rate, comment, subscribe, whether it's YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, etc. The more you do that, the more it helps us to spread the word about Michigan Podcast. We went over 10,000 subscribers this week here on our YouTube channel, so thank you very much to each and every one of you. We'll see you again next week. Until then, go Blue.